Chalo, let's begin our new chapter again today. Professionally managed. If I say my investments are professionally managed. Okay. Why professionally management of my investments? I'm getting it done so that I have, I have a expertise advice. Okay, expertise knowledge. They know the market. Okay, they know the performance of the market. They understand that which kind of securities, okay, will give me the best return. Best return. So basically, it is the alignment of interest of the individual who wants to have their securities professionally managed. Thus, it is known as portfolio management. Okay, so there are many individuals, or even in that case HNIs. Okay, they have portfolio managers. They give their amount. Okay, they give their entire investments amount. Okay, they put it with their portfolio managers, and they are the portfolio managers are the expertise who invest these amount, okay, in those securities which will give them good return, or you will say best return. So they will invest the amount in blue chip securities, those securities which do the best in the market. Okay, now so you have equity market, then we have segment investments also. So the investments can be done like even in SME sector. Okay, SME सेक्टर में भी इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है. HNI में एग्जाम्पल ले लो, मिस्टर राकेश झुंझुनवाला है ना, तो ही इज एन HNI. He gives his amount, okay, which is professionally managed, and he gets the best returns in the market. Also, he knows the market very well. So we have sector wise investments also. We have industry wise investment. Okay, so whatever is your line of interest, okay, the investor's line of interest, the individual line of interest, what are they expecting? Okay, what kind of investments they want risk free. Okay, they are ready to take risk, so they want high returns. Okay, all that is told to the portfolio managers, and depending on that the investments are made. Okay, one example is of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan also, okay, wherein he had invested in Just Dial. Okay, it is there on Google, you can even search this. Okay, he had invested in Just Dial, which was at I think ₹10 per share. Okay, a very new company, new venture, Just Dial, concept भी नया था उसका. But within some months, like I think in 8 months, this company got listed. So the value of this one share became ₹1,000 per share. Okay, so it was written, okay, there was an article that Mr. Amitabh Bachchan had got 10,000% return on his investments. Okay, why? Because it has been a professionally managed. They know that, okay, if this is a new concept which has been put up in the market, public will accept it, it is going to do well. Okay, so portfolio management is nothing but what a individual client wants. Okay, what are his expectations of the return from the market? That expectations he feels that will be fulfilled with the help of a professionally managed person. So that is known as a portfolio management. Risk free returns चाहिए, risk लेके returns चाहिए, high, low, what? Okay, where should I invest? Okay, as an investor today, if I am not having, I'm having money. Okay, today I am an investor. I have money, but I do not know exactly where to invest. Okay, I do not have that knowledge of market. So I will make a portfolio which will be managed by the professional, and the returns will be generated. Okay, so portfolio management is the total number, portfolio is nothing but I'll say total number of securities which a individual holds, from which he is getting a return. Now, basically, if I say on an average, okay, the people who do not have too much of knowledge, okay, about investments, generally कहाँ पे invest करते हैं वो लोग? ऐसे fixed interest bearing securities, okay, fixed interest bearing securities, यानी हर महीने हर साल आपको इंटरेस्ट तो आ ही जाएगा. ओके, तो जनरली एफडीज में डालेंगे, फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स. क्यों? क्योंकि पता है कि भाई फिक्स डिपॉजिट पे 7% पर एनम तो आ ही जाएगा. इट इज द मोस्ट सेफेस्ट. ओके, रिस्क इज देयर, वेरी मिनिमल रिस्क, बट ओके, गवर्नमेंट bonds, okay, very less risk. So even the gain over there may be 8% per annum, but people are okay, fine, no problem, we will invest in this because it has no risk. But if I am told that okay, this much of investment, okay, rupees 100 which you are putting in FD and rupees 100 which you are putting in government bonds, if you put this same in the market, securities market, okay, the return which you will generate is say 20%. Okay, so now if I want this additional return, ये तो रिस्क फ्री था, risk free. This is the market return. Okay, market return. तो ये जो additional, I am looking at this additional 13%. Okay, for this additional 13%, I have to bear the risk also of the market. Okay, so obviously, it is a basic thing that if tomorrow I want to have extra returns, higher returns, the risk also will be high. So this extra return is known as the premium. Okay, so if I tell you that my expected return as an individual investor, my expected return is something which I want over and above my risk free return, तो है ही, वो तो मिलना ही चाहिए, इतना तो मुझे मिलना ही चाहिए बिकॉज मुझे अभी भी मिल रहा है. ठीक है, तो मेरा रिस्क फ्री रिटर्न तो जो है, प्लस मुझे जो प्रीमियम मिलेगा मार्केट में, तो मार्केट का रेट जो चल रहा है माइनस माई RF. बट ये जो प्रीमियम है, इट इज एसोसिएटेड विथ अ रिस्क which is known as beta. Okay, this is beta which is known as risk. So my expected return will be nothing but my risk free rate of return plus the premium in the market, with the premium which I am going to get by investing in the market, associated with beta, which is the risk. Okay, this is also known as this formula which we are deriving. Okay, it is also there in cost of capital, wherein we find the cost of equity, cost of capital. Okay, tomorrow if I want to invest my money in equity market, what will be my returns? So it is known as capital asset pricing model. Okay, so in our cost of equity, we did 2-3 types of formulas based on earning per share, based on dividend per share. Okay, so one of the formula is capital asset pricing model, which is known as CAPM model, which tries to find out the expected return of an investor by investing in the securities market. Now, how is this beta कैलकुलेट? ये तो मुझे पता है मेरा FD का रेट है, ये मुझे पता है मेरे मार्केट से मुझे मिलेगा मेरा प्रीमियम. ओके, सो हाउ इज बीटा कैलकुलेटेड? बीटा इज द रिस्क फैक्टर. Okay, so I'm talking about markets, so I'm talking about all the companies which are listed. I'm talking about stock exchange prices. Okay, so here beta is always calculated. Okay, it's benchmarked with Nifty. Now what is Nifty? Nifty is the top 50 stocks का average. Okay, it is an average of the top 50 stocks performing on the Nifty listed on the National Stock Exchange. Okay, so Nifty generally, okay, we see the performance of the Nifty, okay, the increasing performance of the Nifty. So the change in the return, okay, yearly change. So say suppose Nifty has increased by 10% and Nifty pe Reliance is also listed. Reliance has increased, okay, or has gone up by 20% and L&T is gone up by say 5%. Okay, if you see in long run, okay, Nifty always is in the increasing trend. Okay, it always changes in the increasing trend, not in the decreasing trend. Yes, with certain type of unfortunate events, the market does fall. But if you see 1 year's change, you will see a change which is in increasing form. Okay, if I am comparing 2020 now with last year's 2019, I will eventually see that the market is going to increase. Okay, though due to this pandemic it was down. Okay, so say Nifty is 10%, Reliance is changing by 20% and 5% changes there in L&T. Nifty's beta is always 1 by default. Okay, by default यही है उनका benchmark है with all the other companies. Okay, so if beta of Nifty is 1 and Nifty is changed by 10%, so what will be the beta of Reliance? It is the cross multiplication 2. What will be the beta for L&T? The risk factor will be 0.5. Okay, so this is how the beta is calculated. If you want to see, say the charts. Okay, now when you see this chart, say 1 year's chart. Okay, due to this pandemic it had gone down in the month of February and April, but eventually it is going to go on increasing. It will increase as compared to what it is there in the last year. You can see a 5 years chart also. See this. Okay, so basically due to the pandemic, though it was down, but now it is again in the increasing trend. So the comparison is done on based off 1 year period. Okay, the changes is seen on an average of 1 year period. So my Nifty is changing by 10%, increasing by 10%. The beta is by default 1. With the help of that, I can see the other stocks which are listed, which are there as a part of Nifty. So Reliance is changing by 10%. So what will be my beta? Okay, so beta is, this is the how beta is calculated. So our first part, okay, in portfolio management, our first part is to understand what is our expected returns. Also understand the actual return which the market is giving currently. Okay, based on this calculation, I will decide whether the investment should be done or whether it should be rejected or whether it should be accepted. Okay, so tomorrow, the higher the beta, the higher will be my expected return. Obviously, if the risk factor is high, my expected return will also be high. But if my expected return is less than what the actual return I am getting in the market, or if I'll change my statement, the actual return which I am getting in the market is greater than what I had expected, I will definitely accept the project. Because ज़्यादा मिल रहा है. मैंने तो expect सिर्फ 10% किया था, actual में तो 15% मिल रहा है. Okay, so मेरा जो calculation है, the calculation which I did based on my expected return went undervalued. Or I can say I had underestimated the performance or the return. But say if my actual returns, okay, are less than my expected returns, then I will reject my project or reject the investments I want to make. Why? because there is an overestimation of my expected returns, which I am not going to get in the market because actual return to by itna hi hai. Okay, so this is known as capital asset pricing model. To find out the expected returns, compare them with actual returns, and then decide upon the investments whether it should be made or not. Okay, let's take an example and see. Okay, this capital asset pricing model is being developed by William Sharpe. Okay, he has given us the expected return formula, and depending on this formula, when you find the expected return, you compare that with the actual return and then decide whether you would like to buy or whether you would like to sell, or whether your expected returns are overvalued or undervalued. Okay. See, question number 1. There are 4 portfolio managers who have created their own portfolio. Market risk is 10% and risk-free rate of return is 6%. Select the best portfolio manager. They have given me A, B, C, D. They have given me my beta and actual return also they have given. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's make a chart and see which portfolio manager is good. First is type 1. Write type 1. Write capital asset pricing model. Okay, ये लिखो capital asset pricing model. So CAPM or expected return is nothing but risk-free rate of return plus the premium. What is premium? Market risk minus risk-free rate of return associated with the beta. Okay. Now there are portfolio managers. Question number 1. I have A, B, C and D. There are 4 portfolio managers. Okay. Expected return we will calculate. Actual return they have already given to me, and then we will comment. Okay. So now, as for A has calculated beta as 1.5 and actual return is 11%. Okay. I'll just write the actual return in each of them. B is giving actual return 10 and C portfolio is giving 14% and in D 13% is my actual return. My expected return is my formula CAPM formula. Okay, risk-free rate of return is 6% and market risk is 10%. So RM and RF is given to me. So RF is 6% plus beta is 1.5 in A. Market return is 10 minus 4. No, minus 6. Okay, so when you will calculate this, it will be 1.5 into 4 plus 6. So do not write the percentage sign. Okay, so it will be easy for us to calculate. Class में percentage डाल देते हैं. It is going to be 12%. So I am expecting 12, but actual is 11. So comments will be, I am going to reject this portfolio. Why? Because it is overestimated or overvalued. Similarly for B, risk-free return is 6, but beta's risk is 0.8. Okay, and 10 minus 6. When you will calculate this, this is going to be 10%. Again, my expected return is 10% and actual return is also 10%. I can accept this proposal or accept this portfolio. Okay. No, sorry, I am getting this as 9.2%. When you calculate it, it will come as 9.2% and actual return is 10%. Okay, so I can accept it. Why? Because actual में थोड़ा ज़्यादा मिल रहा है. So it is basically underestimated. In C, I have my beta as 2.2. Okay, so it will be 6 plus 2.2 into 10 minus 6, which is going to give me 14.8%. तो देखो यहाँ पे बीटा ज़्यादा है as compared to the others. That is my return is also higher. So my expected return is greater than my actual return again over here. So I will here reject again. Why? Because I have overestimated. And in my D, my beta is 1.8. So 6 plus 1.8 into 10 minus 6, that will give you 13.2%. Again here, the expected is greater than actual. Okay. Expected is greater than actual, therefore I will reject because it is overvalued or overestimate. Okay, so this was question number 1. Okay, select the best portfolio. So best portfolio, the one which I am going to accept is going to be B. Okay. Let's see one more example. We'll see another question. Okay, they have given me risk-free rate of return 10%. Market risk is 15%. Okay, there are 4 types of stock. Their actual returns are also given to me and beta is also provided by me. Okay, so if I am solving this sum also, the same thing. Okay, question number 2. Okay, my market risk is 15%. Risk-free rate of return is 10%. And then we have some 4 stocks again. So we have stock A, stock B, stock C and stock D. Okay. Expected return we will be finding. Actual return they have already given. And the comments. Actual return लिख लेती हूँ मैं 17, 14.5, 15%, 14.5%. Then I have 15.5% and 18%. So this is given to me. So my expected return over here will be risk-free rate of return RF plus beta is 1.3, RM minus RF. So that is going to give me 16.5%. So my expected is less than my actual. I can accept this project. Okay, because it is also undervalued. In second, it will be 10 plus my beta is given to me as 0.8. 15 minus 10, that is going to give me 14%. So my expected return is again less than the actual return. I can accept this project as well, and it is undervalued. In C, 10 plus my beta is 1.1. 15 minus 10, that is going to give me 15.5%, which is the same. I can accept it. It is perfectly valued, correctly valued. And in the end, I have 10% plus my beta is 1.7. 15 minus 10, that is again giving me 18%, which is same. Okay, so if you want, you can accept it, reject it. You can accept it. It is the same thing. No, it is. This is 18.5%. So expected is higher than actual. So I am going to reject it. It is overvalued. Okay. So this is the type 1 in case of portfolio management, to understand the acceptance or rejection of a given portfolio or a given stock with the help of market risk, with the help of risk-free rate of return and the beta given with the each stock. Okay, the risk associated with each stock. All right. Hi everyone. Let's begin today with our lecture, Financial Management chapter, Portfolio Management. Okay. Now what are we studying under portfolio management? Basically it talks about what is a portfolio. It is the total number of securities in which a person has invested. Okay. So in my portfolio I can have different types of stocks which can be invested. Okay. So if today I am having rupees 10,000, I can invest it, 5,000 say I invest in equity, some amount I invest in preference, okay, some I invest in debt. Okay, so this is known as the portfolio. Okay, it is managed by professionals, okay, who will give us a better return, okay, on my entire portfolio. Now each of the securities will have a different returns which are to be generated. Okay, so the entire portfolio's return is very important for me to know that, okay, when I am investing my total 10,000, it is diversified in this manner. So what will be my total return? Okay. Now, we are talking about when I have a return on risk-free securities. Okay. On risk-free securities. So you can write this as type 1 under this chapter. Okay. Since we have divided this chapter into different types, under this type 1, we are talking about the return which I will get, okay, if I move from risk-free securities to risky securities. That is when I move to market. Okay, so risk-free securities, say we have government bonds, we have FDs. Okay, risk-free. They are very, very safe. So their return is also equivalently low. Okay, so the risk-free securities will generate me, say example, 10%. But if I am investing my money in the market, I am expecting obviously a higher return. Why? Because there is a risk associated with it. So the risk, we say it is the beta. Why it is the risk? Because it is associated with the market. So if I am expecting now 18%, if I am investing the same money in the market, so I can say that my premium, market premium, is nothing but 18 minus 10%. Okay, I would have otherwise also got 10%, but now I am expecting a higher rate of return. So I am expecting a premium from the market, which is 8%. Okay, this helps us to derive a formula which is known as capital asset pricing model. Okay, capital asset pricing model talks about what is the risk-free rate of return plus what is the premium you are going to get after investing in the market. So risk of the market, return of the market minus return from the risk-free securities which is associated with beta. Okay, this capital asset pricing model is the same thing. If you want to find the cost of equity, return on equity, okay, which we had also done in a cost of capital. Okay, so one of the formula for cost of equity is also the same as capital asset pricing model. Now what is this beta? Beta is the risk. So if higher the risk, okay, higher the beta, higher will be my expected return from my this given portfolio. Okay, why? Because I am transferring my money. Okay, I am shifting from the risk-free securities to risky securities. So my expected return is going to be higher. Okay. Now with the help of this, we have understood that if my expected return is higher than what actual returns are being generated in the market, then I will reject the project. I will not invest. Okay, not invest, not buy. Why? Because there is overvaluation done for my expected return. Market में तो इतना मिल ही नहीं रहा है. But if my expected return is less than what is actually being gained in the market, actual return given in the market, then yes, I will accept my project or I will buy, and this will be also known as undervaluation. Okay, so the first type of our portfolio management is talking about the capital asset pricing model. Okay, the premium which we get from the market is always associated with a given risk, which is beta. Okay, now keeping the same concept in mind, okay, I said that the cost of equity, formula for cost of equity is one of the formula. Okay, it is the cost for the company point of view and return from the investor's point of view. So it is the risk-free return plus beta, market risk return, and risk-free rate of return, which is the premium. Okay, this is known as the premium, market premium. One more formula we have cost of equity, which says dividend D1 upon price plus growth. Okay, so now our type 2, basically in a type 2 we will have to find, okay, the price, PO. Now this PO is also known as the fundamental price. Fundamental price. Okay, so here with the help of our capital asset pricing model, we can find the cost of equity. Then put the same cost of equity in a dividend formula. Dividend upon price plus growth. Now what is this price? This is the fundamental price. Okay, based on the fundamentals of the company, what should be the price of that given stock or the given security? Now we will be comparing this price with the actual price given, actual market price, and then decide whether we should buy, that is invest, or whether we should sell. Okay, for that we will first take an example. Okay, let's take an example. They are giving me that my risk-free return is 4% and RM minus RF means they have already given me my premium, market premium. My beta is 0.7, dividend is 3% DO. Okay, growth is 5%. We have to calculate the expected market price, means the fundamental market price. We have to calculate PO. If the actual market price is 34, what is the investment action which can be taken? So here, this question number 15. Okay. Or you can just write this as question number 1, type 2. Give the heading type 2. Question number 1. Okay, we'll just write all the given. We have RF, which is 4%. RM minus RF is given to me as 6%. And the beta is given as 0.7. So with that, first I will find my KE. KE will be RF plus beta into RM minus RF. So 4% plus beta is 0.7 into 6. So this will be 4% plus 6 into 0.7, 4.2. So 8.42%. Alright, so I found my KE. Now with the same KE, I will put it in my dividend formula D1 upon PO plus growth. I already have my KE. KE is 8.2%. 8.2. D1 will be the dividend, D0 plus the growth. So dividend was 3 plus 5% growth I will get on my dividend. Price is what we have to find and growth is 5%. I'll take this 5 there. Okay, so 8.2 minus 5%. This will become 3 plus 5% of 3. Okay, so 3 into 5% will be 0.5 plus 3. So here I'll get 3.15 upon PO. 8.2, subtract 5 from that, I'll get 3.2. So P0 will now be equal to 3.15 upon 3.2%. Okay, so 3.15 divided by 3.2%. The price will be rupees 95.3125. Okay, this will be the price. Okay. Now they have given me that my actual market price, market में अभी कितने में मिल रहा है ये शेयर मुझे? In 34 rupees. Okay, so my actual market price is standing at 34 rupees. But my fundamental price is 95.3125. So according to this, okay, my price, fundamental price is being overvalued. Okay, overvalued. Tomorrow this might crash. Okay, fundamental price here is more. Okay, so price fundamentally is greater than the market price. So market में मुझे 34 rupees में मिल रहा है. Okay, 34 rupees में it has already been available at 34 rupees. Fundamentally the company is doing very well, so I can invest in the stock or in the portfolio or in the security. Okay, if I am comparing with my actual market price, which is 34 rupees. We'll see one more example. Okay, question number 16. Now they are saying that an investor is holding 1000 shares of X Limited. Presently, dividend is being paid by the company, which is rupees 2 per share, and the share is being sold at 25. So this is the actual market price. They have given me is rupees 25 in the market. RF is 12%, market premium is 6%, beta is 14%, growth rate is 5%. What should be done? Whether we should buy, whether we should hold, or whether we should sell the share. So let's see. Okay, question number 2. Let's write the given first. We have RF 12. RF is equal to 12%. Then the market premium, that is RM minus RF, is 6%. And the beta, associated risk, is 1.4. So with this I can get my KE. KE is nothing, RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Right? So 12% plus beta is 1.4 into 6. So this will be 12% plus 6 into 1.4, 8.4% plus 12%. So it will be 20.4%. I will put this KE in my dividend formula. D1 upon price plus growth. I know my KE is 20.4%. D1 is given to me as, okay, the company paid a dividend of 2 and the growth is 5%. So they have given me my D0, which is 2, and the growth is 5%. Okay, so it will be 2 plus 5% of 2 upon price plus growth is 5%. So 20.4% minus 5%. This will be equal to 2 into 5%, 2.1 upon PO. Okay, so 20.4 minus 5 will be 2.1 upon 15.4%. 2.1 divided by 15.4%. So the price is now going to be 13.64 rupees per share. Okay. This is the fundamental price which we have found. Actual market price they have given me as rupees 25 per share. So here fundamental price is less than the actual market price. Okay, fundamentally the company's value of a share is 13.64 only. Okay, market mein it is at 25 rupees. Okay, so basically when fundamental price is less than the current market price, we should ideally sell so that we get more money right now from the market, because eventually since this has been the market price might fall because the market price is overvalued and the fundamental price is yet low. So it may fall. So since it may fall, the market price will also go down. So it is better we sell at rupees 25 per share currently. Okay. Okay, let's take this question number 17 here. Vivek is holding 1000 shares of Right Choice Limited. The current rate of dividend paid by the company is rupees 5 per share, and the share is being sold at rupees 50. Okay. However, several factors are likely to change during the course of the year as it is indicated. So we have a risk-free rate of return 14%. So here this is case 1. This is case 2. Risk-free RF is given, market premium is given, beta values is given, and expected growth rate is given under both the cases. Okay, in the view of the above factors, we have to find whether Vivek should buy, sell or hold and why. Okay, so question number 17, case 1, case 2. Okay, first we will find the particulars, write the particulars here. First we will have to find KE. In case 1, KE will be, it is RF is 14% plus beta. I'll write the beta directly. Beta is 1.42. 1.42 into RM minus RF, which is 8%. Okay. So this will be giving me as 25.36%. I'm doing case 1 right now. Now similarly, KE is now equal to D1 upon PO plus the growth. So here I will say it is 25 point, which is equal to 25.36, which is equal to D1. How much will be my D1? The company has given a dividend of rupees 5 and the growth is 6%. Okay, so 5 into 6%, 5.3. I have to find my price. The growth is 5%. I'll take this 5% on the other side. So now it will become 20.36%, 5.3 upon PO. So my price here will be 5.3 upon 20.36%. Okay. So, no, 25. This growth is 6%. Growth is 6%. So here this will become 19.36. Okay, so 19.36 divide करो.
27.4.
I am getting 27 price. I am getting as 27 point, yeah, 4 or 37, 38. Okay, in case 1. Alright, and the actual price they have given me, actual market price is given as rupees 50 in 50 hai, case 1 and case 2 both. Okay, so here it is rupees 50 actual market price. So PO is less than the actual market price. So what should be the investment decision, whether he should buy, whether he should sell, what he should do? Fundamentally the company is standing at rupees 27.38 only. Okay, fundamentals are more important. Tomorrow market may crash. So basically what he should do, he should sell. Right? Now same thing you will have to do it with the help of case 2. In case 2 also they have given you everything. RF, RM minus RF, beta, and the expected growth rate is 10%. Okay, when you will calculate this, you will get your KE as 19.62%. Okay, and the price after solving you will get 57.17 rupees per share. And the actual market price is given to me as rupees 50. So fundamentally the company is doing better than the market price. So basically I will ask Vivek to buy. Alright. Okay. So now this was about the type 2. Okay, understanding. So we have finished 2 types right now. We have finished the capital asset pricing model, and also with the capital asset pricing model we get the expected return. We compare that with actual return and take our investment decisions. In the second, we take our investment decisions based on the price which we find and compare that with the market price. Okay, now in the other type 3. Okay, basically here I will find the expected return of a portfolio. Now I have told you what is a portfolio. It is the total of securities in which I have invested, and I might have diversified my investments, company A, company B, company C. Okay, so here types 3 in which we are going to find the expected return of the whole portfolio, where the portfolio consists of more than one securities. There is a diversification of the investments done. Okay, so if I tell you that my investment in company A is 50% of my total, in B it is 20%, and C I have invested 30% of my money. Okay, and the return I am generating is 10%. Here I am generating say 5%, and here I am generating 20%. Okay, so it is my entire portfolio. There are 3 different types of investments I have done, and that is my portfolio. So if I want to know the expected return of my whole portfolio, I will see the weights. Weights means what? The amount invested in each and what return is each one giving me. So it is a very simple formula which says weight of A, how much you have invested in A, into return of A. Return is given to me, plus I will say weight of B into the return generating by B, plus weight of C into the return generated by C. That will give me my expected return of the entire portfolio. Okay, now your return is already given to me. Otherwise we find, no, our expected return we find. with the help of risk-free plus beta RM minus RF. Okay, we find this. But here return is already been given to me. Okay, it is given that each of the stocks is having this much of return. What if this return is not given to me? Okay, I may have to find it with the help of the risk associated. In each stock. So I will say there will be beta of A, there will be beta of B, and there will be beta of C. It cannot be same, no? Beta of A can be 2, beta of B can be 1, C can be 3. Okay, the risk factor can be different for each stock. Okay, that is why beta of C is more, so the return is also higher. Right? So since the beta also can be different, if I want to find the beta of my entire portfolio. Okay, so here beta will be nothing but beta of the portfolio will be weight of A into beta of A, like how I did with return, plus weight of B into beta of B, plus weight of C into beta of C will give me my beta of the entire portfolio. Okay, so this is one of the very simplest of all, in this entire chapter, wherein they will give you the returns and you have to find the expected return of the entire portfolio with the help of the weights, which will also be given. Second, we have to find the beta of the entire portfolio. So the beta of each stock will be given. So we can find the beta of the whole portfolio as well. Now, if I tell you, basically, okay, so if I'm telling you the expected return of the portfolio, weight of A into return of A, weight of B into return of B. Now, if I tell you the expected risk of the entire portfolio, okay, expected risk is nothing but it is standard deviation. Okay, and how we denote standard deviation by this sign. Correct? Now, the standard deviation of the whole portfolio, if I have to find, is nothing but the square root of variance. Okay, so all these three things are interconnected. Okay, that is why I am teaching you this in a flow. First, I help you understand the expected return of the portfolio with the help of the weights. Okay, weights of A into return of A, weight of B into return of B, and so on and so forth. Similarly, I can find the beta of my portfolio. Okay, wherein weight of A into beta of A, weight of B into beta of B, and so on and so forth, depending upon how many stocks I'm having in my portfolio. But the entire whole risk, when I'm talking about the complete risk of the entire portfolio together, it is known as standard deviation, which is denoted by this sign. Standard deviation of the portfolio is nothing but variance. Now, what is the formula for variance? Variance is nothing but it is the weight of stock A into standard deviation of A square plus weight of B into standard deviation of B square plus 2 into weight of A, standard deviation of A, weight of B, standard deviation of B, into relationship between A and B. Okay, it is that A plus B, the whole square formula. Yeah, A square plus B square plus 2AB. This is the additional thing. The relationship between A and B, relationship between two stocks. If one will fall, then other will fall by how much percent? If one will rise, other will rise by how much percent? This is what is being explained by the relationship of two stocks. Okay. So just quickly we will revise all these three formulas and then take one example. Okay, I am talking about the expected return of the entire portfolio when my portfolio is diversified in other types of securities. Okay, there is not only one security, there are more than one securities in my portfolio. So how will I come to know my expected return of the whole portfolio? Simple, when the weights is given and the return is given, I'll just multiply the weight with the return of each and add. Okay, say the weights is 50% in A, 20% in B and 30% in C, and the return is also given to me. I'll just multiply them and I'll add. Similarly, the beta of the entire portfolio, I know the weights, I can just multiply with the beta of each stock. But if I'm asking about the expected risk, okay, of the entire portfolio put together, then it is known as standard deviation, denoted by the sign standard deviation of the portfolio, which is equal to variance. Variance is nothing but weight of A, standard deviation of A square, plus weight of B into standard deviation of B square, plus 2 into weight of A into standard deviation of A into weight of B into standard deviation of B into RAB, which is the relationship between the two stocks. Okay, now starting with the example. Okay, so now write down type 3, write the heading type 3. Okay, type 3 is expected return of portfolio. Okay, is nothing but weight of A into return of A plus weight of B into return of B. Okay, and beta of the portfolio which is weight of A into beta of A plus weight of B into beta of B, and the variance. Okay, calculating the risk standard deviation. Okay, risk, expected risk of the portfolio is nothing but standard deviation, which is square root of variance. Okay, and the formula for variance is here. We will keep this in mind and we will solve the sums. Okay, now question number 11. They are saying there are two stocks, A and B. Return in A is 8% and return in B is 12%. Means you don't have to do anything. Return is already been calculated. Okay, risk, okay, standard deviation is 6% for A and 7% for B. Okay, so question number 11, they have given me the returns, they have given me the risk, and they have given me the relationship between A and B. Okay, so I have to calculate the expected return and risk of the portfolio, assuming, okay, and the relationship between A and B is given. We have to find the expected return and risk of the portfolio, and the investment is in the ratio of 3:1. Okay, so basically in A, I have invested 75% and this is 25%. Okay, simple, we'll just put this in the formula. Expected return of the portfolio, weight of A into return of A. Only two securities are there. Weight of B into return of B. Weight of A is 75% into the return which I am getting is on A is 8%. 75 into 8% plus 25 into return on the B is 12%. So when you will calculate this, it will be 75 into 8%. Okay, this will be 6 plus 25 into 12%. This will be 3. So you will get total 9%. Okay, so the expected return of the portfolio we have found. Now they are asking me the risk of the portfolio, the total risk. Risk of portfolio is nothing but the standard deviation, which is equal to the square root of variance. So first we will find the variance. Okay, variance formula is weight of A into standard deviation of A square plus weight of B into standard deviation of B square plus 2 into weight of A into standard deviation of A, weight of B, standard deviation of B into RAB. This also they have given me. Okay, so now weight of A is 75, standard deviation of A is 6%. 75 into 6% square plus 25 into standard deviation of B is 7% plus 2 into weight of A into standard deviation of A, weight of B into standard deviation of B, and relationship between them is given to me as 0.6. Okay, now 75, calculate this. 75 into 6% if you will do, you'll get 4.5 square. Then 25 into 7%, 1.75 square. Plus 2 into 4.5 into 1. You can just directly go on multiplying this. Okay, 4.5 into 1.75 into 0.6. Okay, so now 4.5 square in 4.5 into 4.5 is 20.25 plus 1.75 into 1.75 is 3.0625 plus just multiply this 2 into 4.5 into 1.75 into 0.6, you'll get 9.45. Okay, this total, the whole thing, you can just multiply it together. Correct? Now just add, after adding the entire total variance of the portfolio is nothing but 32.7265 in percentage form. Always in percentage form. 32.76. Okay, so 76. 7625. Okay. Similarly, see this question number 12. Again, I have got two types of securities. Return also is given to me. Beta, the risk is all, the deviation is also given to me. And the relationship is minus 0.4. Okay. So here just the minus sign is going to change. So you can try this as a homework. Only the minus sign is there. So the sign will change after multiplication. So do the entire sum the way I did. Multiply also in the way I did. Only in your last step. Okay. Here it will be minus sign. Okay. Now coming to your question number 13. This is an important question. See this. They have given me beta is 1.5. Risk-free rate of return is 6% and market return is 12%. What would be the return? Means they are asking me what would be the expected return. Okay. If alpha value is 1.5, 1, 0 and minus 2.4, what would be the corresponding actual return? Now I'll tell you what is alpha. Okay. What investment action will you suggest? What is the significance of alpha and what does that indicate? First, I will do my part 1 of this question. Okay. Question number 13. They are asking me to find the expected return, which is nothing but RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Okay, RF they have given me 6%, beta is 1.5 and Rn minus Rf is 6%. Okay, so here I am getting expected return as 15%. Okay, now what is the meaning of alpha? Alpha is denoted by this sign. Okay, alpha is nothing but your actual return minus expected return. Okay, which we were doing, no? We were comparing our actual return with our expected return. Okay, so the difference between the actual and the expected gives me my alpha. Okay, now they have given me that the alpha value is 1.5. So what will be my actual return? Okay, so my alpha value is 1.5. I don't know my actual return, but I know my expected return, which is 15. Correct? So 1.5 plus 15 will give me my actual return, which is nothing but 16.5%. Okay, so now my actual return is greater, if you see here, than the expected return. It is greater than my expected return. When my actual return is higher than my expected return, what do I do? We accept, no, the project, or we invest, accept or invest or buy. Okay, so basically I can say that when alpha is positive, it will give me actual return more than my expected return. Thus, the project must be accepted. Must be accepted. Okay, so this was with the first alpha mein 1.5 mein. Okay, now second. Similarly, here alpha is equal to actual return minus expected return. What is my alpha here? Now 1. Actual return I will have to find. Expected return is 15. So 1 plus 15 will give me my actual return, which is 16%. Okay, which is greater than my expected return. Therefore, I will accept. See, alpha is positive. Okay. Now second, next one is alpha, actual return minus expected return. Alpha is given to me as 0. Actual return I don't know. Expected return is 15. Therefore, actual return will also be 15, which is the same as the expected return. Any decision can be taken. Any decision can be taken. Okay. And in the last one, where my alpha, they have given me minus 2.4. Minus 2.04. 04, no, 40. Sorry. 40. Actual return minus expected return. Okay, so minus 2.4 plus 15%. Okay, plus 15 will give me my actual return. My actual return will now be 12.6%. Okay, which is now less than my expected return. So basically, I will not invest or I will not accept the project. Okay, so this was, even alpha is now covered. You will be able to find with the help of alpha, we can find the actual return of a given portfolio. Now, what investment action would you suggest based on this alpha? I already told you. And what is the significance of the alpha and what does this indicate? So, alpha basically, the last part of the sum says alpha is nothing but it indicates the difference. Indicates the difference between actual return and expected return. If alpha is positive, then always actual return will be higher than the expected return we will invest. But if alpha is negative, our actual returns will be lesser than the expected returns. We will not invest. Okay. Now calculate the expected return of the following investments A, B and C. 8%, 10% and 6% is the return. Now there are 3 stocks and ratio is 1:1:1. Okay, so basically the weights I can say is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Okay, so very simple. Question number 4. Okay, expected return of the portfolio will be weight of A into return of A, which is given to me, plus weight of B into return of B, plus weight of C into return of C. Weight of A is 1/3 into return of A is 8%, plus 1/3, return is 10%, plus 1/3 into the return is 6%. Okay, so when you solve this, it is 2.67 plus 3.33 plus 2, which is giving me 8% total expected return of the portfolio. Okay. Now we have already solved these ones. Okay, I was talking about the total beta, portfolio beta. That is weight of A into beta of A and weight of B into beta of B. Okay, so in that, the next part which we were covering, the return of the entire portfolio and the beta of the portfolio and the total risk of the portfolio. So now this beta is going to be comparatively simpler. We have to just find the beta of the portfolio. Now see this, question number 18. We'll just write this. Okay, how to find beta of portfolio. Okay, so beta of the portfolio will be nothing but weight of A, okay, into beta of A plus weight of B into beta of B. Okay, so question number 18. Question number 18 is saying portfolio has an equity debt of 1.2. Equity beta is 1.2 and is going to be financed with a combination of 30% debt and 70% equity. Assuming that the debt beta is 0, calculate the project beta taking RF 10%, RM is 18% and also calculate the expected return from this project. Okay, so here first expected return will be nothing but this 3 plus beta into RM minus RF. अभी ये बीटा मुझे चाहिए. Okay, beta of the entire portfolio. So beta of the portfolio will be weight of A into beta of A plus weight of B into beta of B. So weight of A is, I'm taking 70% equity, and beta is also 1.2. Okay, 70% into 1.2 plus weight of B is 30% and beta is 0. Okay, so now this will be 70 will be 0.70 into 1.2 plus 0. This will be 0.84. Okay, beta. Beta cannot be in percentage. Alright. So now this same beta, I have to just put it in my expected return. I have got my risk-free rate of return is 10%. Beta I found out 8.4. Market risk is 18% minus 8%. So this will be 10% plus 0.84 into 10. Okay. So the total here it will be 10% plus, no, it is, I'm sorry, this is 10%. So this will be 8. Okay, so 0.84 into 8, 6.72. This will be 16.72% will be the expected return of the portfolio. Okay, simple. Next one, McDonald's is thinking of opening a restaurant. Its equity beta is 1.1 and debt is 0.1. Equity represents 70%, debt represents 30%, RF is 5%, RM is 12%. Find the expected return beta of the project. This is going to be for homework. Okay. Now the last question number 20. Okay. A portfolio manager has 3 stocks in his portfolio. Following information is available. There are 3 companies. Investments to be done as 6 lakhs, 3 lakhs and 1 lakhs. So total 10 lakhs and beta is also given. Expected return on the market portfolio is 15% and risk-free rate of interest is 6%. On the basis of CAPM model, okay, we have to compute the expected return of the portfolio and the expected beta of the portfolio. तो पहले ना expected beta कर लेते हैं. Okay, question number 20 लिखो. Expected return will be RF plus beta into RM minus RM. ठीक है, यहाँ पे छोड़ देते हैं. We'll see how to. First, we'll have to find the beta of the stocks, which is known as the beta of the portfolio. Okay, company X, Y, and Z, investments 6 lakhs, then we have 3 lakhs, and we have 1 lakh. Okay, so I can assign the weights directly. Total is 10, no? Total is 10 lakhs. So my weight is going to be 0.6, 0.3 and 0.1. Okay, so now the beta of the portfolio is very simple. Okay, it will be weight of stock A into beta of A plus weight of stock B into beta of B. You can write X, Y also, plus weight of stock C into beta of C. Okay, now weight is given. I have already found out. A का बीटा है into 1.3 है बीटा, देखो. B 0.3, beta is 1.4 and weight of C is 0.1 into beta is 0.9. Okay, calculate this, you will get 0.78 plus 0.42 plus 0.09. Okay, so that will give me as 1.29 as the beta of the entire portfolio. So risk-free rate of return is given to me 6%. Beta I found out 1.42. Okay, beta is 1.29. Sorry. 1.29. RM is how much? 15%. 15 minus 6. Okay, so 15% minus 6%. So calculate this, you will get 17.61% the expected return of the portfolio. Alright. So with this we complete the entire next type, which talks about the expected return of the whole portfolio. Okay, and the beta of the whole portfolio and the risk of the entire portfolio, which is nothing but standard deviation. Okay, so with this we complete our type 2 also, and the sums which I have given for homework, you can solve that. Okay, we'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.